Hello and welcome to Week in Review on Trust Television. On Week in Review, we'll take a look at some of the biggest stories that occurred in the last 7 days. And of course, we keep you in the know in case you missed it over the week. And this is why we come up with Week in Review. And thank you so much for joining us. My name is Martia Umar. We'll start off with this story about Amira. Amira is the daughter of abducted Kat Poly lecturer Dr. Ramatu Abashi, and she has regained freedom after spending 38 days in Bandit's den. She was released on Tuesday and moved to an undisclosed hospital for medical checkup. And according to a source, Dr. Abashi, her daughter, and their driver Ibrahim were abducted on April 24, 2022 along Kaduna Highway while returning from a charity mission. While she was released about 3 weeks ago, the driver regained freedom last week while the daughter was released 5 days after the driver. Daily Trust learned that the abductors collected ransom that ran into millions. And a member of the House of Representatives, Bamidele Salam, has tasked President Muhammadu Buhari to act fast and decisively in securing the release of the remaining kidnapped victims of the Abuja-Kaduna train attack.
In this country. It is to avoid this that I've decided this afternoon, to join my voice to that of other well-meaning citizens of this very great country, to appeal to the president of this country to please, in the name of the Almighty Allah, in the name of the God who created the heaven and earth, to arise and redouble his efforts to secure the release of these kidnapped citizens and other fellow citizens of this country who are in the bushes, in the forest, and in other, other unimaginable places at this hour, whose only hope is that they will have a country that will rise up for them. That is why I decided this morning to stage a walk from the Unity Fountain to this place, holding this placard, asking that the president should please, for the sake of Nigeria, for the sake of posterity, arise and do more to free the Kaduna train kidnapped victims and other citizens who are in captivity in various parts of Nigeria.
And the prelate of Methodist Church Nigeria, His Eminence Reverend Samuel Kanu, regained freedom over the week from his abductors. And the prelate was released with 2 others seized with him 24 hours after the abduction. Reports say that the Methodist prelate is in Owerri, the Imo State capital, where the Bishop of Owerri Diocese, who was kidnapped with him and his chaplain. The abductors had demanded 100 million ransom for their release, but it is unclear if the church paid ransom or not for them to regain their freedom. And now to Abuja, traders at the timber shade of the popular Day building material market and its adjoining market in the Abuja Municipal Area Council that were shut following crisis which erupted at the market on 18th of May 2022 have resumed business activities. And this follows the reopening of the market by the FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello on Friday, the 27th of May 2022. Some 9 days after the clash between motorcycle riders and traders, which left goods worth millions damaged and lives were lost. Trust TV's Aisha Saliu visited the market the course of the week and survived in this report.
This is the timber shade access of the popular Day International Market, a market that was ravaged by fire incident just a couple of days ago, where due to the clash between the Okada riders and the traders in this market. Although the FCTA shut down this market just so peace and sanity can be restored.
This market, once filled with warehouses with varieties of timber products, is gradually returning to how it used to be following the restoration of normalcy after the motorcycle riders and traders clash. Chibuzo Ekesi, chairman of the Timber Traders Association of the market, says although losses have been recorded, they are nevertheless thankful for the reopening of the market.
So far, the estimates we have collected some are still bringing. It's over 1 billion. As at the last we calculated, we've gotten about 1.5 billion, and some other people are still bringing their own this morning. The minister has opened the market, the people are happy, and they have resumed their normal businesses. And as you can see, the market is lively, the business is booming.
Duru Amadike, the chief security officer of the market and one of the victims of the clash, is gradually settling in. He has been forced to rebuild while recounting his losses.
Well, it's one of those things that can't to a man. I cannot ask God why. It has happened. By grace of God, we will survive it. We have no cash at hand, but we are trying to manage the route we have at hand to know whether we can also appreciate again.
Officials at the market said they had put in safety measures to arrest possible incidents and other security breaches and called on the FCT minister to assist in that regard.
We need external assistance in the security. The government should help us provide more.
He urged all to be law-abiding for a peaceful and successful conduct of business moving forward.
Repairs and reconstruction are ongoing in the market, and businesses, according to some of the traders here, are gradually picking up. Although the officials of the market are in talks with the authority to ensure that there is proper security and other measures implemented to avert a similar incident occurring in future time. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And away from Abuja to Osun State, where an unidentified policeman during the week shot the Osun State correspondent of the Nation newspaper, Toba Adedeji, in Osogbo. Adedeji was rushed to Osun State University Teaching Hospital, where he's receiving treatment. He's said to be in stable condition, according to report. But the reporter was recovering, and the protest against police brutality by some youths who were also mourning the death of one Abiola Afolabi, who was allegedly killed by police officers last month, brought about the protest where Adedeji was covering. And some policemen who came to the area to disperse the youths started shooting sporadically. An eyewitness, Henry Olamilekon, said that the policeman also shot a 5-year-old school pupil. And the chairman of the correspondent of Chapel of Nigerian Union of Journalists in the state, Shina Abubakar, who was at the scene during the shooting, condemned the action of the policeman. The state's governor, Adigboyega Oyetola, in a statement by his chief press secretary, Ismail Omidon, also condemned the shooting.
Maybe to get the reports, and then the other guys were school children. They are coming from school, so I think those are the 3 guys that were shot. It is Nigeria policemen that shot at us at Oloya Junction today.
Some guys were coming from Ilesha, where they went to bury one Afolabi allegedly killed by the police. On sighting them under the flyover bridge, we left the office to go and see what was happening. And on getting there, we discovered that they said they wanted to protest. Well, we could have even left the scene, but the elder brother of the deceased was supposed to come and address us. They were there. Some of them were actually unruly, while the others were actually doing their thing without disturbing any other person. About 10 minutes later, policemen suddenly alighted from a Kurokwe and started shooting sporadically into the air. On shooting, everyone, including us, the journalists and the guys, ran for their life. Unfortunately, one of them directed his gun towards the runners and fired the shots. In fact, I had to hold back a corps member, Kemi by name, that was trying to go into that same line. So I had to draw back. Don't go, the guy is shooting at us. So the guy shot, and we kept running, and we had to take solace in a shop. Suddenly I saw Toba limping on one leg. What happened? They say he was caught. We rushed him down here to the hospital. And before we got to the hospital, I confronted one of the policemen that you guys fired a live bullet. He couldn't respond, and he just turned away from us and went back to the under the flyover. Now I also discovered that a girl was rushed on a bike towards Ashubiaro, and we had to start saying that the bike man should turn around, but he didn't hear. He's running to probably save her. Now we are at Ashubiaro, we are at Lautech Teaching Hospital. Luckily, the doctors quickly attended to him. The government officials were here. He's currently on the bed stable. However, we demand that the whereabouts of that girl should be made for us to know, because that girl was said to have been sent back to Lautech and referred back to Lautech from Ashubiaro. We were here since we didn't see the girl. So the police is yet to make a comment. They have not said anything about the incident yet, but they should make where that girl is. They should make it available. We should know. We should know about the whereabouts of that girl.
And to nearby Lagos, the trial of Andrew, the driver of the bus Rapid Transit, that is BRT, who allegedly raped and murdered a 22-year-old fashion designer Oluwabamishi Ayonwale, failed to proceed on Wednesday due to the ban on commercial motorcycles. And the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu had on May 18, 2022, announced a total ban on the operations of commercial motorcycles, also known as Okada, in 6 local government areas in the state, with effect from June 1st. And following the development and the planned protest by the Okada riders, the controller of prisons at Debisi Adewale directed a temporary suspension of conveying inmates to various courts in the state due to intelligence and security reports of possible breakdown of law and order during the protest. At the resumed hearing of the case before Justice Sherifat Shonaike of the Lagos High Court sitting at Tafawa Balewa Square, the defendant was not produced. But the Director of Public Prosecutions, Dr. Babajide Martins, after announcing his appearance, informed the court that the prison service did not bring the inmate to court due to security reasons over the Okada ban. And you're watching Week in Review on Trust Television. More reviews after the break. To stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Week in Review on Trust Television. And in case you're just joining us, it's all about activities or events that happened in the past week. And moving on to more news, the University of Maiduguri students have decried the continuous yet inclusive negotiations between the government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. The students are unhappy that despite the prolonged negotiations, they have been shut out of the academic activities for the past 4 months. Trust TV's Beatrice Kurutsi in his report speaks with some undergraduates in Maiduguri on how they're facing life outside campus. Take a look at the report.
Before the 4-month strike, University of Maiduguri was full of life as students and staff went about their normal academic routines. Today, it has become deserted as lecture halls are filled with dust and littered papers. Some classes under lock and key with few offices open. But this is not the story for Borno State University, as it recently matriculated over 2,000 students.
Faculty of Agriculture.
It is also pertinent to note that character constitutes one of the major considerations of awarding degrees.
It is the wish of Abubakar Ghana, a 100-level student who comes to his department every day to study, that the strike will be called off soon. He, amongst other things, laments that he will not graduate at the expected time if the federal government and ASU fail to come to an agreement.
Somebody that's supposed to graduate within 4 years or 5 years can end up graduating within like 8 years or 9 years. But when they did not call it back, well, I think I'm changing the institute. I'll go for maybe private or state university in Borno State like those.
Now I am just doing a handwork, which I'm a carpenter. So I'm just managing with the carpentry work. But even now I have a work to do in southern Nigeria. But due to this, I don't want to go far and the strike to call back. So that is why I'm still sitting here managing for the ASU to resume, and then before I move to my second plan. Because my first plan is to graduate. And all the other activities is outside, is when I have my first plan.
The issues that have kept students home border on revitalization funds for universities, renegotiation of 2009 agreement, and earned allowances for lecturers, among others.
You can imagine a university that has a capacity of 70 up to 70,000 students, and now you don't have that number. You can imagine the economic activities that we put on hold. You find out that students that are coming up from secondary school that are supposed to now come into the university are as well delayed. And at times you have like 2 sets of students that are supposed to come into the university held in one place.
At the moment, the leadership of the country is focused on next year's election, with politicians promising solutions to Nigeria's educational problems. Some are optimistic that the federal government will bow to ASU's demands just to score political points ahead of the general elections.
And away from the educational matters, let's move on to some of the biggest news about politics in the past week. Ahead of the June 30th deadline for the suspension of a continuous voters registration exercise, the Independent National Electoral Commission in the FCT has called on eligible voters that are yet to collect their PVCs to take advantage of the remaining weeks to get registered, as the Commission has made adequate arrangements to ensure a successful process. The resident electoral commissioner for the FCT, Yahya Bello, made the call following complaints of inaccessibility of the portal as well as frustration from the physical biometric data capturing process, a collection of PVCs, among others, as INEC offices within the FCT. Trust TV's Aisha Saliu has more.
As the online pre-registration portal is closed, the rush for physical data capture at the various centers of the Independent National Electoral Commission within the FCT has become overwhelming. These registrants who express their frustrations attest to this.
We've been here written our names since as early as 5 in the morning. Till now, they've not attended to us. And it's very bad. They are trying to frustrate our efforts so we can't vote. But the truth is that no matter what they do, as long as they give me my card, I'm going to vote.
Since last week, the crowd is just frustrating. So I wrote, just like yesterday, I wrote my number. I was 296. Today now I was thinking they will continue with yesterday's number, but now they are telling me they started a new one today.
They are not doing register now. They are doing online. And since yesterday, they don't close online. So I begin to beg them, they let her do it for me. Since morning, it's just now I'm coming out.
Resident Electoral Commissioner for the FCT, Yahya Bello, says the Commission has made adequate provision to attend to registrants, especially those who boycott some centers due to the cumbersome process.
Here, we have a lot of personnel to do that. We are going to add more machines because, typical of our own behavior in Nigeria, we are going to wait until the last moment. We have been doing this continued voter registration for a long time.
He noted that the Commission is in partnership with the National Orientation Agency, civil society organizations, and members of political parties to ensure a smooth exercise and urge eligible voters to collect their permanent voters' cards.
And we continue to do with them so that people are more aware. It's no question, we are also not doing continued, but we are also the issue of collection of the PVCs. These PVCs have been on the ground. Anyway, we will come to the issue of collection of PVC this June and after. It is the CVR, the portal, the online has been closed. Physical capturing will continue until that, but the collection of PVC will continue until the end of this year.
Although millions of Nigerians have registered since the inception of the online and physical continuous voters registration exercise, which commenced in May 2021, many are yet to collect their printed PVCs from previous INEC registrations. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And a former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, has emerged presidential flag bearer of Labour Party. He emerged with 98 votes as the exercise took place in Asaba, Delta State. Take a look.
The exercise commenced with enthusiastic delegates ready to cast their votes. Prior to the exercise proper, stakeholders of the party take turns to stress the need for change from the usual PDP and APC-led federal government.
Crisis of unemployment, crisis of poverty, crisis of inflation, crisis of tribalism and nepotism. The list is endless. Labour Party have therefore decided to make this platform an alternative platform that will rescue the country.
We must identify the top candidates for this very election. Please vote for a presidential candidate of Labour Party. Must be somebody with record. We must be ready to capture all the 36 states of the Federation.
3 presidential contestants made Peter Obi's emergence easier as they stepped down from the race, leaving the ex-governor as sole aspirant.
The purpose of this election, and for us to move forward our party and to move forward this nation, I will step down for Peter Obi.
For the sake of all our children and grandchildren, our generations to come, we have decided to step down.
At the end, Peter Obi emerged winner with a promise to rebuild the country.
I will satisfy all the requirements, and with the highest vote, I, Abdullahi Usman Aliu, Chairman of the Electoral Committee, hereby declare Peter Obi as the flag bearer of Labour Party.
The journey of rebuilding and the functional country has just commenced. We have a great war. When I mean great war, sacrifice to ensure that we all go to all the youth and parents of this country.
And aspirants seeking to fly APC presidential flag in the 2023 election continue to spring up as they were seen on Tuesday thronging the screening side of the party's screening panel. And the Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports that among those that face the screening panel so far is Nigeria's Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, the Senate President Ahmed Lawan, among several others that were present for screening. He has more. Take a look.
Postponed for a consecutive 4 times in a row, the APC presidential screening exercise is now taking shape. 2 days of robust engagement between presidential hopefuls and the screening panel. An exercise behind closed doors and away from coverage by the media, just as the aspirants also remain mute.
As you can see behind me, the Transcorp Hilton, venue for the presidential screening exercise of the All Progressives Congress, the APC, has come alive with this exercise. So far, a number of presidential aspirants have been cleared, including the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, the national leader of the party, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the immediate past Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, and several others. Other presidential hopefuls under the platform of the APC are also on the queue to face the screening panel. This is coming on the heels of the preparations ahead of the 2023 elections, with the party's national convention scheduled to hold on the 6th of June 2022.
As the party set for a much-awaited special convention to choose a flag bearer, intrigues, suspense, and a sense of uncertainty defines the horizon. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And mixed reactions have continued to greet the emergence of 2 sons of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Muhammad Tanko, as candidates for Bauchi North on the platforms of the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party. Adamu Imam takes a look at the divergent views of Bauchi residents on how the two candidates emerged as their party's flag bearers. The report.
As well as governorship seats across the 20 local government areas of the state. Although the election have come and gone, what has refused to go with the election is how the two sons of the Chief Judge of Nigeria, Muhammad Tanko, who won both in the All Progressives Congress APC and People's Democratic Party PDP respectively. Ibrahim Muhammad Tanko, who is the elder brother, won the senatorial seat of Bauchi North Senatorial Zone under the platform of APC with 179 votes, defeating the incumbent Senator Bulkachua, who scored 0 votes, while the junior brother Sani Muhammad Tanko won the House of Representative ticket for Gyadeshira Federal Constituency by defeating other contestants to also emerge winner under the platform of the People's Democratic Party. However, based on the outcome of the primaries, many people, especially supporters of both parties, are of the view that the victory of the two sons was as a result of their father's influence, despite not being a politician himself.
I cannot say that they voted because of the influence of their father. They voted because of their good behaviors of those people. As I know, if there is any problem with them, they cannot vote them at the same house like that.
Corroborating this position is Adamu Muhammad Jahun says credibility and the need to deliver effective representation led to the outcomes of the primaries.
Shi Bulkatuwa da yake alal hakika gaskiya tun da aka zabe shi da ya tafi.
Senator Bulkachua is nowhere to be found. Since he was elected, he thought delegates or party stalwarts are like before, that you could swear with money. Not anymore. The narrative has changed. I think the outcome of the election is a lesson to all participants. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
And how time flies, we have come to the end of this week's edition of Week in Review. But don't forget to join us next time. And next station, of course, is still Trust TV on your start times. And of course, for more updates, you can follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.